I'm Brian. Welcome to my studio. In this video, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about my illustration process, specifically how I stretch watercolor paper for this painting. In addition to that, I also want to talk about craftsmanship and how our creative choices, how our choices shape our visual voice, how our choice is our voice. And you may well be asking yourself like, hey, why go through all the trouble? We have digital tools for that now. Aren't they faster? It's the 21st century. And I would return with a different question, which is to say, what happens to our visual voice when things are overly similar, when things are too homogenized? What happens to our creative voice then? And additionally, what does it mean to make something that is built to last in an age that seems to be built to scroll? Interesting questions. Let's dive into it. When you're painting with watercolor, you're actually putting a bunch of water into the fibers of the paper. When they dry at different rates, they'll give a buckling. So we want to stretch the paper so that it dries real flat. That way when we apply later washes, it'll return back to that flat state. So this is called gator board. And no, it isn't called that just because I live in the South. It's sort of got a hard surface on the top of it and it's easy to staple into with the staple gun. We're also gonna need a clean sponge, some scissors to cut the tape. I use a little cheap T-square to help me keep things square on my board. This is probably the only specialty thing, paper tape. It's got gum on one side of it. After soaking for about 5 or 10 minutes, the paper becomes the consistency of a well-cooked udon noodle. And I'm gonna gently lay it onto the board here and use the sponge to help pull out any excess water as well as any air bubbles that are underneath of it. Next will be the tape. So I just simply put the tape in the water, it activates the gum that's on the back, and very similarly, take the sponge to take off the excess water and make it nice and smooth. And once the last piece is in place, we're gonna move on to stapling it. The tape is great, but sometimes it peels up, so staples. And with that all done, let's take it up to the studio, start painting. So I like to begin my process with an underpainting. Here I'm using Payne's Gray. And what this does is it will give the form and volume. We'll have a sense for form and volume by showing light and shadow. We can also start to begin to show textures for things, etc. I like my images to have a little bit of space in them. I like to be able to get into the world. So this is it. This is the heart attack moment. These are the first washes that are going to go over top. So after the underpainting has dried, I'm going to put a layer. In this case, it's a raw sienna, a nice warm undertone, which is going to help to cohere all of the other colors that I put up on top of that, and will give it a warm feeling. I thought I'd talk a little bit about where this painting comes from and what it means to me. I was walking in the side yard and happened to look down and saw a little toad just sitting there, and it got me to thinking about local stories, individual stories, starting closer to home with things in a world that does seem overly corporatized. And I think that we're really missing out on having distinctive local cultures. I feel like that is something that's really important in the world. We see this in language with dialects, and we see it in music with different rhythms and types of music, etc. So in terms of visual storytelling, in terms of illustration, I thought I would start closer to home with this little frog. Some of the effects of starting in this more local way is that I am personally more connected to the work. It starts to resonate. I can look out my window and see a landscape that's similar to this, and imagine this little toad from our side yard is going off and having adventures and fishing and having some fun. So, what does it mean to make something built to last in a world where things seem to be built to scroll? Well, I think there's really a lot of value in personal stories, and I think that starting where we are is really important. So it's these personal choices, these personal details that I'm putting into the work that help me to feel more connected with it. And my hope, of course, is that it goes out into the world and connects with you and other people, in the sense that it's got a certain flavor to it, a certain look, and that you enjoy it, and that we're in this way helping to share some of the beauty of our own lives through our artwork. So in the end, I would invite you to connect with the world around you. Start to connect with the animals and the environment, the light that's around you, the things that you see, your personal stories. Invite a little wonder into your world. By doing so, we can start to reconnect with our local environment, tell more personal stories, and create artwork that's going to have a lot more of our own personal voice in it through our craftsmanship. I really enjoy creating these watercolor paintings and then sharing them through these videos with you. But I'm curious, what are your questions? Do you want to know the tools and materials that I'm using? Are you working on other projects yourself and have questions about how to go about it? I would love to hear from you. Please feel free to leave a comment below.